going on. Now you're representing the Dolphins this time. You seem to be a fan of every team.
Hey, gotta keep you on your toes. I keep myself on my toes. All right. I mean, the past 2 months have just been a whirlwind. It's like one step, then 3 steps back. I don't know. Just wild. So,
It is wild.
we're just gonna keep changing it up and see what works.
I mean, we had the Nacho Libre from 2 weeks ago. Now you're rocking the Tyreek Hill uniform. Who knows what next week or the future could possibly bring?
Oh, I got some ideas. I got some ideas.
You got a few different things to choose from. Okay, cool, fantastic. So instead of going and doing our usual recap, let's just dive into Week 15. So I can't believe we only have one more month of regular season football. It's so sad and depressing.
Don't talk about it. The state that I go in from February to September, it's bad. Okay.
Oh man, it's such a long off season. Oh man. Okay, anyway, I don't even think about that right now. Let's just focus on the season that we have right now. We are in week number 15. I can't believe how fast time really flies. This is so crazy. And I'm pretty sure that there's no bye weeks this week, and I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure there's no bye weeks for the rest of the season. So every team has at least 4 more games to play, starting with a Thursday night matchup. Now, I did write the scores down ahead of time, so I'm trying to see if I can save a little bit of time that way. We have the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. If you want to take this one, I can do the next game, or if you want me to take the lead, then I'll get you to take the next one. The floor is yours.
See, here's the thing: is I am curious what you have to say about this game because I think the Rams are going to win it.
Well, I want the Rams to win, and in my heart and my soul and my body is telling me that Matt Stafford's going to go into San Fran, get a win, and then they should be 2 games above 500. But there's something about this 49ers team. They're like a roller coaster. They're wishy-washy. They're all over the place. They're up, they're down. So I can't take them for granted anymore. I mean, yes, they're still injury plagued, and I know McCaffrey's gone. That's a huge loss. But I'm taking San Fran in this one. I think it's going to be a very close contest, just like any division matchup is, and especially when there's playoff implications at that. So I'm going to give the 49ers the edge 23-21, but I hope I'm wrong because I would love to see LA make a push for either a playoff spot or even a division crown as well. So
here's my take. I'm thinking you're going
Hello.
on.
Hello, Shrekfish and Valentin Santos. Sorry, I got a 14. Oh wow.
Oh boy, alrighty.
Jumping.
Yeah. So last week, right? You go in against Buffalo as you're the Rams, and you pull off a game you're not supposed to win, right?
Yeah.
They were supposed to win that game. You just got to carry that momentum into this week, and that's kind of where I'm picking from, is carrying momentum over a huge win. So it's going to be a close game, just like you said. I think, score-wise, I'm thinking it's going to be a game-winning drive by Stafford. So it'll be 24-21 game-winning touchdown.
We're separated by 1 point. So I really do believe it is going to be a very close game as well. So that's one thing we're going to disagree on. So since I took the lead this time, I'll give you the edge in this one. As for the first time in a long time, the Panthers, who only have 3 wins, are favored over the Dallas Cowboys, who are 5-8. I have a crazy pick, but I want to see who you think first. Is it true that the Steelers are a lock for the Super Bowl? I don't think the Steelers are a lock for the Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie. They're a good team. They probably will get the AFC North Division, in my opinion, but I don't think they're making the Super Bowl because I don't see Russ going into Kansas City or Buffalo, respectively, and pulling out back-to-back wins.
Yeah, no, they could. They're just not going to get it done. They're not experienced enough. Pickens is just a wild card. He'll do something stupid and get thrown in the game, and then there goes half your offense. Risky business with the Steelers.
So the Panthers and Cowboys, who do you got?
I really want to say the Cowboys just because of how good their team is, regardless of who's at quarterback.
Yep.
Give me the Panthers.
You're taking the Panthers? All right.
Give me that. I've been seeing so many videos of their receiver, Xavier Legette, because he's got that really southern accent. that you wouldn't expect out of him. The guy's just funny as hell. All right, I love him. So that's my reasoning behind this game. It's gonna be just an absolute bum fest, right? Nobody's watching this game. I'm taking the Panthers. I'm gonna say 10-point margin in this one.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go 31-21.
31-21, a high scoring game.
Sorry, let's bump that down a bit. 27-17.
27-17. All right, sounds good. So 27-17 for the Panthers. So I'm also taking the Panthers. I think that there's something about this team. They're starting to gel. Unfortunately, it's just too late in the season for them to do anything. But I'm going to say 19-13. If they can have this much promise at the end of this year, that could possibly lead into some optimism in 2025. But obviously, this is a season that is lost for them. Next one has now. I know I'm probably supposed to take the lead, but I really want to see your honest to God opinion between your Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs, who just cannot seem to lose.
I'm going to channel my inner Jameis Winston here, all right? My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, please let the Browns beat the Chiefs.
As long as he can be saved from those pick sixes, man, he's golden.
Hand him that second loss of the year in a game that not supposed to win. Browns are not supposed to win this game. Is Kansas City at home?
No, Cleveland's home.
Oh yeah. You know where this is going. Give me the Browns. Yep. Give me the Browns. Okay. Look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yep. But if I'm right, I'm gonna be extra happy. All right. Oh man. Here's the thing with the Browns. The Browns are like me and video games, right? If I'm playing online against someone, I always play either up to their level or down to their level, right? If there's a guy I'm playing in Madden and he's super good, I'm going to play super good. I'm going to be on my best game. The Browns are the same way. You go against a good team like the Ravens, like the Steelers. You go to those good games with the good teams and they play up to that level. I'm hoping that's what happens on Sunday.
Pray.
I hope we squeak it out. 27-24, Browns.
27-24. Okay, so I would love, obviously being a Broncos fan, I'd love to see every team in my division lose this weekend, but I know that it's a pipe dream. We'll put it that way. This is the thing about the Chiefs is that I never would have guessed I'd say a 12-1 team is subpar.
Mm-hmm.
They do not deserve to be 12-1. At best, they could be 10-3, 9-4. There's so many lucky kicks, blocks, whatever you want to name it. Maybe they had the refs on their side. I don't know what it is about this Chiefs team, but I never would have guessed I'd say a team that only has one loss would be They're not running away with games. They're not winning by 10, 20 points. Like they're squeaking out with last-second field goals, or like I said, their special teams on the defensive side are coming up huge. AKA they blocked our Will Lutz's field goal against us. But I still think the Chiefs win. But I think it's going to be like by the tiniest margin, like by the hair of my chinny chin. I think it's going to be like 17-16. I think it's going to be another heartbreaking loss, unfortunately, for the Browns. It's either going to be them getting a field goal block or the Chiefs going and kicking a last-second, like 50-yard field goal from Mason Butker. There's something about this Chiefs team that I hate them so much, but I can't pick against them.
Yeah, well, understandable.
So the next one has, the team you're wearing their jersey, the Miami Dolphins. They're 6-7. They're going in to Houston, who are 8-5. I guess I'll take this one, and I'll let you dive into this after. So this is huge. Will the Broncos get that 7th spot? I hope so. They need the win, and I will discuss the Broncos here in just a little bit, but I think they have that locked down unless they have a horrible 4-game losing streak to end the season. Did I just jinx them? So we have the Dolphins, 6-7. They're 2 games behind. Denver for that last spot, and Houston's 8-5. They're just coming off their bye week. I want to say that Houston's going to win this one, and I'm going to pick Houston, but I don't think they're going to run away with this because CJ Stroud, it seems like he was like on cloud 9 for the first half of the year, and just my opinion alone, it seems like the last 2 or 3 games he's definitely come down to earth.
Yeah.
He's definitely facing a lot more pressure from the defensive line, whoever he's playing. Turnovers are definitely a thing that are catching up to him now, which is unfortunate. But for Houston, after their bye week, you'd think after the rest, the physical and mental rest, that maybe this could help them prepare to take on the Dolphins, because the Dolphins aren't dead. They're still very much alive. Like I said, they're only 2 games back. If Miami wins and say Denver loses, then they're only like a game or so apart. So it's very, very close in that AFC wildcard race. So I'll give the Houston Texans a narrow win. I think it'll be like 24-20.
All right. I also agree with the Texans pick. However, where is this game being played?
Houston.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, this one's going to be a nuke. This is going to be a nuclear game, I think.
Yep.
Lot of offense in this one. Texans seem to love to air it out at home. At least that's what I see watching the games. I mean, I swear I see 3 deep shots a week when they're at home. So, yeah, I'm going to go big game. Texans win it. Let's go 38-31.
38-31. And ultimately, if Miami does lose this, again, depending on how the Colts and Broncos do, this could ultimately be the end of their season right here. So a very crucial game it's more critical for the Dolphins, but I feel like if Houston wants to get more of a lead in that division or get that division for the second year in a row, they definitely want to be able to get back in a winning format. The next one, staying in the AFC South, this is the game of the week here, folks. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets, both 3-10. This is going to be a must-watch game. Do not take your eyes off this game. This has game of the week written all over it. I went last time, so I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Put me to sleep on this. See, what was that first game we were talking about? The Panthers that nobody's gonna watch. This is gonna be like this one. What do we got in this one? We got the Jags. Where do I sign up? Where do I sign up? I ain't watching the Jags game. All right. I'm never picking. I made a rule earlier this year after believing that Trevor Lawrence was Jesus himself. At about week 5, I stopped picking the Jags. I'm going to continue to do that. Jags are not winning this game. If I have anything to say about it, I just don't trust them. They can't. No. They're just so inconsistent. And I think I read a report Trevor might be back this week. Don't quote me on that.
Yep.
Even if he is, I don't trust him. I thought he was so good, and I just lost all faith in that team. I got nothing else to say. 20 to
Sorry, what is it?
20-7.
20-7? Fantastic. I say that this could be the breakout game that Rodgers needs to, revive his career. I'm with you. I have no faith in the Jags. I think that they're a dumpster fire. They're just as bad. Like, both teams are terrible. And I'll give the Jets a huge victory in this one because I'd be shocked if this was a low-scoring game. I mean, the Jets have enough talent on offense. They should be able to score some points. So I'm going to say 30-13 in favor of the Jets. This way they get at least their 4th win of the season, and they won't finish in the basement of the AFC at least.
I don't like the Jaguars so much. I didn't even talk about the Jets. I apologize. But quick note on the Jets.
Yeah.
Somewhat looked half decent last week. I liked what I saw. Rodgers seemed to be getting Devontae and Wilson the ball good. So if he continues to do that, 2 thumbs up.
There you go. The next one has the New Orleans Saints. They're 5-8, taking on the opposite record, 8-5, the Washington Commanders. The Saints. I'm going to say this right now. I think this is going to be a trap game for the Commanders. They got to watch this.
No.
This is a trap game. This is a trap game. You can't overlook this Saints team. Yes, they're not that good. They're terrible. Obviously, they lost their coach at the start of the season. But if the Commanders think they're looking forward to Week 16 and they overlook the Saints, they could easily lose this one, lose their minds, lose their head, and end up 8-6. So I'm saying that Washington wins, even though I did criticize. It'll be a narrow win. I think it'll be like 25-20. But again, I don't think this is a game. Yes, Washington's favored, and they should easily win this game. But what happens to a lot of teams when they think, "Oh, I'm playing a less or a team that's but worse than us"? They can always surprise you because the Saints have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. What they want to do for the remainder of the season is play spoilers against as many teams as they possibly can. So I think Washington gets it, but it might be a nail biter.
You see, if Derek Carr was playing, I would agree with you. I am not going to live in a world where Spencer Rattler eats Jaden Daniels in a professional football game. Not happening. Right? If it was Carr, I would 100% agree with you. Huge trap game. I think it still kind of is. It's going to be like a close game. I agree with you there again. But I think the Commanders still get a decent win in this one. I'm going to say 30-20.
30-20, a double-digit win. Fantastic. Okay, the next one has the New York Football Giants. Oh man, they're even worse than the Jaguars and the Jets. They're 2-11, and they're playing host to the Baltimore Ravens, who are 8-5. What do you think?
I believe I read today that DeVito is the starter. Tommy Cutlets.
Money.
Tommy Cutlets is going to go out there and sling it against Lamar Jackson.
Not a chance.
It ain't happening. This ain't your moment to shine. It's not. And the thing is that there's so many parts of this Giants team that look good.
Yeah.
Right? You have the receivers. I like what I'm seeing out of their backs. Singletary's playing all right, but I really like Tracy in their backfield. Their defensive line is filthy. And I mean, the rest of their defense is all right. But there's pieces there. And it's just a quarterback away, obviously. But they ain't winning any games anytime soon, in my opinion. So that's last I'm going to put off the show. All right. I'm going to say big games out of the tight ends for the Ravens.
Okay.
Big games out of the big boys. Let's go Henry, Ricard, and Andrews all into the end zone. The fullback. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. Let's go 24-17.
24-17. That's a fantastic score. So, yeah, I have the Giants definitely losing this game. There's no hope in hell. I mean, maybe if it was Danny DeVito instead of Tommy DeVito, that'd be a different story. But, no, I think the Ravens got this one in the bag. And after their bye week, they definitely are going to be refocused. And they definitely want to get this win because, A, they want to still maybe be able to make the playoffs. And, B, if there's a slim chance that the Steelers lose and the Ravens win, they could pull in within one game of that division crown as well. So I'm going to say the Ravens run all over the Giants. If you're a Giants fan, don't even bother showing up to the game. 34-6. 34-6. Mark it on the here right now. Lamar's going to run for a touchdown. Henry's going to have 2 rushing touchdowns. And I believe Andrews will have a one-handed catch in the end zone just to put the icing on the cake. And, yeah, it's going to be a gong show.
I like it.
The next one we're going to take a look at are the Tennessee Titans. They are 3-10, taking on the 5-8 Cincinnati Bengals. I think this is going to be. I think Cincy has this game. They proved last week that they beat the Cowboys, so that's not really saying much. But they want to stay competitive. They want to try and attempt to salvage their season. But I think it's honestly, I think it's just a little too late. If there was still 10 games left of the season and they were only 3 games below 500, I'd say there's still optimism. But when you're in the last month of the year and you have, I guarantee they're going to have at least one more division game before the season's over. So I think this is a game Cincinnati has to win. But even if they do win it, they're still going to be 6 and 8. And again, even if Denver loses, they'll be 8 and 6. They're still going to be 2 games behind Denver, and they actually play each other in week number 17. So if Cincy wins this game, that might make the week 17 matchup even more intriguing. And obviously depends on how the Dolphins play out as well with their season too. So, and Indy as well. I can't forget Indy. But yeah, I think Cincinnati wins this one, 27-10.
Alrighty, 27-10. Ooh, a little bit higher scoring than I'm thinking. A little bit. I'm thinking 17-7. I like what I see out of the Bengals.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a little bit more run heavy than we're used to for them, just because they're trying to, control the game in this one. So yeah, I'm going to go 17-7, a little bit more game controlled.
Fantastic. The next one has the now slumping and reeling Arizona Cardinals. They're 6 and 7, taking on the 3 and 10 New England Patriots. What do you think about this matchup?
This is a get right game for the Cardinals. All right, yep. It's been a rough couple weeks. All right, just not a great showing the past couple weeks, in my opinion. I think this is the week where they can get back into it a little bit. I don't see them making a playoff push, honestly. I really don't. But they're still a competitive team. I really like them, honestly. I wish they were more consistent because they're a fun team. So, I mean, I wish that they were their record was better. We'll put it that way. Yeah. So I'm going to take the Cardinals in this one. Let's go good showing for them. 26-14.
26-14. Fantastic. I'm also going to take the Cardinals in this one. Like you said, they've had a couple of bad games last 2 weeks. They should get back to 500. I still think it's going to be tough, like you said, for them to make the postseason. With that being said, Washington only has 8 wins. So if the Commanders, for some reason, get upset and Arizona wins, they'll only be a game back with 3 weeks remaining. So this is a very critical game for the Cardinals. If they lose this game, they're in big trouble. And I'll tell you now, if they lose this game, they're not making the playoffs. If they win, they got a chance. And I think Seattle has 8 wins. So I mean, if Seattle loses, and the other scenario would be if they lose and Arizona wins, they could pull back within 1 game of that very crowded NFC West. Who's going to win that division? I have no idea. But I'll take the Cardinals. I think it'll be kind of a low-scoring game. I think it'll be 17-12.
Yeah, I like that.
Now for the game that I'm going to be glued to the TV, and I'm not moving off the couch. The Denver Broncos, my team, 8 and 5, taking on the 6 and 7 Indianapolis Colts. Now, this is very intriguing, obviously, because if Indy happens to win this game, there'll be a game behind Denver, and if they finish with the same record, they'll obviously have the tiebreaker because they would potentially beat the Broncos. I think this is going to be a dogfight because both these teams desperately want to win. Indy is trying to salvage their season. Denver is clinging on to that last playoff spot. I'm going to say 23-19. My team pulls it out. They get their 9th win of the season, and for the first time since the 2016-17 season, will have a winning record.
I like that. And you know what, Ian? I'm going to agree with you. I love this Broncos team. They're fun. I like Nix. I've always liked Courtland Sutton. He's little tip for y'all out there. Not really a tip. It didn't work out for me. I've had Courtland Sutton on my fantasy team past 5 years. Every year I draft him, and every year he let me down. Guess what? I didn't draft him this year. Look what he's doing. You're welcome. You're welcome, Courtland Sutton. I revived your career. Okay? Anyway, love to see him succeed, and they clearly have great chemistry. Defense is balling. Love Surtain. Yeah. I like this team. I'm excited. I hope they make the playoffs and make a little push. They make things exciting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Give me Broncos. A solid win, 27-23.
27-23, fantastic. Okay, the next one has So obviously I want to get your opinion on this one first, but I'm so intrigued by this one. The Detroit Lions are 12-1, extremely dominant, taking on the 10-3 Buffalo Bills. I have a wild prediction when I say my piece, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
Game of the week, obviously. This is gonna be a super heater. All right, this is what movies are made of. Okay, I will not be going to the bathroom for this game. I'm excited for this one. Okay, Lions are gonna win it.
Okay.
And I truly think that this is a last possession. This is a last possession game, right? Both of these teams are dominant on both sides of the ball. They can both beat you in multiple ways. But one team has Dan Campbell. And if there's one thing he can do, it's trick you, go for it on fourth down, and make those gutsy decisions that you don't want to make. That could lose them the game, but I think he does it 2 weeks in a row and somehow uses his Dan Campbell juices and pulls it out somehow. 30-27, game-winning field goal.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is my bold prediction.
All right.
Super Bowl matchup.
Oh yeah, I like that. 100%.
Super Bowl matchup. This is definitely the Bills, even though I know they're unlikely to get the number 1 seed because they're still 2 games behind the Chiefs. I think this is a team that they're gritty. Josh Allen is a beast, man. Like if he was on my team, I would love him. I would buy all the merchandise because the guy just let's put it this way. Last week, his stats: 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. He scored all their points. The only thing he didn't do was score the extra point. That's it. Dude is a machine. Like he's not. I think he's the Terminator. I honestly do. I think he's the 21st century version of the Terminator. The guy is just unreal. So this is my bold prediction. I say the Bills pull this one off only because you mentioned before how Dan Campbell loves to go for it on fourth down. I think this is the week it backfires. I think that it's going to end up being a 27-24 game, only because Dan Campbell's going to go for it, not going to get it. Boom, Josh Allen takes a knee. Buffalo escapes with a win, only because they're still bitter about last week's loss to the Rams. They should have won that game. So yeah, I think Bills take this one 27-24, and I hope I am right about that future Super Bowl matchup because this would be an epic showdown, to say the least.
If that was the Super Bowl matchup, nobody wants to know the amount of money I would spend betting on that game. Okay, that is that is cinema. For the Super Bowl, I'm dropping a bag trying to get something out of it.
That would be absolutely epic. Maybe you're with me on this one. I'm just tired of seeing the Chiefs win. They had 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. Get off the pedestal. Somebody else deserves a chance now.
Yeah.
Now we have the Los Angeles Chargers, 8-5, taking on the 7-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is intriguing. Both these teams are likely going to be making the playoffs only because the Falcons are collapsing, and they're the last team that we'll talk about. Tampa Bay's first in their division. The Chargers, I think, have the number 5 seed or number 4 seed, one of the two. Maybe the 5th seed because they did lose to the Ravens earlier in the year. 6 seed. Sorry, I apologize. 6 seed. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be crazy. You're going to think I'm nuts, but I know you love them. Baker Mayfield's going to pull this one off. I know that the Chargers are good, and Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert are like a match made in coach and quarterback heaven. But there's something. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, man, they're gritty. Like they can pull out wins. There's a reason they're in first place in their division, and it's very likely they should get the NFC South division for the 4th year in a row, and the 2nd time, obviously, in Baker's tenure with the Buccaneers. So I say Tampa Bay gets this one. I think it's close. I'll give them the edge, a slight edge. I say 20-19. I think the Chargers make a charge, but they charger it and miss a field goal. So 20-19 in favor of the Bucs.
I like it. I'm agreeing with you. I'm taking the Bucs in this one.
Yep.
Slightly for the same reasons, except with one additional thing. This is going to be a Mike Evans legacy game. All right? The guy needs 400 yards in the next 4 weeks to get to 1,000. They're going to be chucking this rock over to big boy Mike. Oh yeah, yeah. They're going to be slanging it. He wants it. Everyone wants it.
Yep.
Bucks are going to win this. Same thing. Kind of a close game. I'm going to go 28 to 24.
28 to 24. Fantastic. We got 1, 2, 4 more games to go. We'll see if we can get through these in the next few minutes. Battle of Pennsylvania, as we have the 11-2 first place Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 10-3, also first place Pittsburgh Steelers in their own respective divisions. Who do you got in the Battle of the Penn State?
While looking through my the games for this week, I had circled that Bills game and this game. This one is also a really good game.
Yep.
You got one very hated coach in Sirianni, and one coach that everyone kind of doesn't like, but he's, I'm going to say, I'd say Tomlin's a villain.
Yep.
So you got two coaches who generally unliked. Big game for both teams. I like what I'm seeing out of Russ and Pickens. I really like what I see out of Saquon.
Yep.
I think A.J. Brown is going to demand the ball in this game. I think the Eagles are still going to beat the Steelers.
Yep.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Eagles.
Okay.
Saquon's going to have a big day again because that's just what he does. I'm going to say A.J. Brown 2 touchdowns.
Ooh.
And high scorer in this one. I'm going to go 35 to 30.
35 to 30 in favor of the Eagles. Fantastic. So this one could go either way. Obviously, Pittsburgh's been playing so well, and it doesn't matter if they're home or away. They could easily go into Philadelphia and pull this one off. It's not like one team is struggling and one team is not. They're both making the playoffs. Let's be realistic about that. It just depends on where they're seated in the standings after Week 18. But I'm with you. I said the Eagles get this one. I think Saquon goes for 100+ yards again on the ground, gets a rushing touchdown, maybe receiving touchdown too. Who knows? The guy's got a lot of skill. And it's too bad that he wasn't this dominant with the Giants, because I'm sure they would have paid him a lot more money when his contract was up. But either way, I say the Eagles get this one 31 to 27. Yeah. All right. Now, the Sunday night matchup has the Seattle Seahawks 8-5, their first in the division, taking on the 9-4 Green Bay Packers. This is a tough one. I think both these teams could possibly make the playoffs. They're very likely to make the playoffs. And I'll make one more bold prediction. I think this is a first-round matchup. I think this is a first-round matchup because I'm pretty sure the Seahawks have the number 3 seed, and then the Green Bay Packers have the number 4 seed. I think you're awesome. Not sure you are following baseball at all, but what do you think about Soto signing with the Mets? I've seen that contract, man. I know I'm not much of a baseball person. $770 million? Are you kidding me? Where do I sign up for that? That's crazy. And I want to know how much that's guaranteed, because I guarantee some of that's got to be going towards the team or whatever it is. But if that's all going to him, dude's making bank, man. That's a lot. That's almost $100 million. That's crazy. Almost $1 billion. Oh my God.
Yeah. Think about this. Think about this. This is gonna make you feel sad, I think. Soto makes more money in a month than we will in our lives.
That's insane. The dude's gonna play one game, and that's probably my year's salary.
Correct. More than I see in a graphic he makes $2 a second. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And he half the time you're on the bench. Yeah.
Half the time you're on the bench and you're getting paid to sit, and all you're doing is you're running around catching the ball. You're obviously helping your team try to get out, and then you're hitting the ball at the same time. Man, can I get in a time machine, go back into the time to high school, and start playing baseball? Because if you told me when I was 15, 16 years old, Ian, you could make bank by hitting the ball and catching a baseball, Oh man, I don't think is anyone worth that amount of money. No, nobody's worth that amount of money. That's so stupid. That's crazy. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and this goes with any sport, with any contract. If you sign a long-term deal, you're expected to play that well for the entire tenure. I think he signed like a 15-year deal. Like, it's a long-term contract. I don't believe in long-term contracts. Like, at most, do a 5-year deal. And if he's still playing well, you can pay him a little bit more. I know the cap. I don't know how the baseball works, but like I know with every other sport they have a salary cap. Maybe baseball doesn't. That's why they have such stupid high contracts. But I don't believe in paying, because what happens if he either A, gets hurt, B, his play starts to go down, then the team is fucked. They are so screwed because they can't break that contract, and there's no way in hell in 2, 3, 4, 5 years he's going to want to renegotiate. Like if the team, like if you were offered, be honest, if you were offered for the next 15 years almost $100 million, would you turn it down?
For how much?
15 years and $770 million. Like, that's a lot of stupid money. If someone offered you right now, they gave you a piece of paper and a contract, who's going to turn that contract down?
Oh, you'd be. I mean, here's the thing about this contract. All right, this guy is a baseball player, right? Born with a gift to play baseball. Obviously, he trains like a madman. But if you're put in that position and you're already talented enough, great. Go play.
Yeah.
Own a NHL franchise. He could purchase the Utah Hockey Club his funds. All right. He could outright buy a team. That's insane for playing a sport. For no brand deals, no nothing, for strictly playing baseball. You can buy a professional sports team.
You could buy a country for $770 million, man. Like
multiple countries.
That is insane. Oh my God! Yeah, I didn't mean to get sidetracked, but as soon as I seen that, I'm like, I saw that. I remember a couple of days ago, and I was like, that's a lot. That's ridiculous. Anyway, we'll get back to this, and then we'll try to wrap this up. So the Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. I think this will be a first-round wild card matchup. I'm going to give the edge to the 12th man. There's just something about the Seahawks, and I know you said you went there to watch a game live. There's just something about this team when they're at home, and that home crowd can definitely play a major factor. You think I was the one that went to the game, even though I have never been to one. But obviously you have. I'm sure you could add on to that. But I think the Seahawks get this one. I think it'll be close. I don't think it's going to be a 2-score game, but I will give them the edge. I'll say like 26-20.
I like that. And I agree with you, because if there's one thing I've learned over the past couple years is generally you can count on Geno in prime time. Generally. There's been a couple times where he's a little wishy-washy, but for the most part, when the lights are bright, he shines, as of recent. So I think he follows suit with that this week. I actually really like what I'm seeing out of the Seahawks, and I don't love what I'm seeing out of the Packers. I think that they're still too inconsistent.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. I'm going to say a big game out of probably DK, maybe JSN, but probably DK.
Okay.
I'm going to go a little bit bigger than yours, 27-21.
27-21, so still a 6-point margin. Fantastic. Okay, so 2 Monday games. I'll let you take the first one, then I'll do the last one. The Minnesota Vikings are 11-2. A side note, if you're 11-2 in any other division, you're in first place. That NFC North is just so goddamn crowded. They're taking on the 4-9 Chicago Bears.
You know how we always talk about how division games are going to be close?
Yep.
This one won't be. I'm sorry to say it. Ian, do you know how many yards of offense the Bears had at halftime last week?
No.
4.
4 yards?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No first downs. Okay? They did nothing for an entire half of football. They just did cardio. Sure. fun. You can't do that, especially against an 11-2 team like the Vikings. And this happened the past couple weeks. It's like Caleb Williams goes out there, does it, he's blind for half a football, and then goes out there and decides to show up for the second half. But when you're playing good teams, that's not going to cut it. The Vikings are going to go up by 20-plus points in the first half, and then they're just going to run the ball and control the clock and probably win, I'm going to say 38-13.
38-13. Fantastic.
I'm
with you. So go ahead.
So I said I don't understand it. Like, it makes no sense.
I'm with you. I think the Vikings got this one in the bag. I'm going to say even crazier of a score. I'll say it's 41-12. I think this is going to be a rout. And it just goes to show that maybe the coaching wasn't the problem, and maybe it could be the quarterback that's just not getting it. I mean, yes, he is in his rookie year or so, whatever it is, but still, like, there's a lot of question marks for this Bears team moving forward. And the worst part is that if they lose this game, they'll be on an 8-game losing streak. I remember after week 6, they were 4-2. I'm like, oh my God, they could surprise me and a lot of people and maybe make a push for a playoff spot. But 8 or 7 consecutive weeks not getting a win. And obviously, everyone, if you're unless you were living under a rock, everyone remembers that infamous Thanksgiving game against the Lions when they should have called a timeout. And I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Like, you have 30 seconds left. Call a timeout, run the ball at least 5 yards, and kick a game-tying field goal. Send it to overtime. But no, they decided let's just throw a Hail Mary. You know, we'll be so disorganized. But yeah, you can't make this stuff up. And if you're a Bears fan, I feel sorry for you. I really do. Like, it's hard for me to be sympathetic when the team is losing. But man, I would be so heartbroken. I would probably just want to throw out all my gear. Like, it's just like heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. Oh. If you're a Bears fan.
Yeah, Jersey's getting burned after the season.
Alrighty, we'll see if we can wrap this up real quick. I know you got to take off here soon. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Atlanta Falcons. Vegas is 2-11. The Falcons are 6-7. I'm going to be bold. Okay, you're going to think I'm absolutely insane. Vegas is winning this one. Vegas is winning this game. Kirk Cousins is dead to me. If I'm a Falcons fan or Falcons management, I'm cutting my losses. Getting his bags packed. He's not the Kirk Cousins from the Minnesota. He's not the Kirk Cousins from Washington. He's washed up. He's been 4 games without a touchdown. He's had more turnovers than anything. He's a turnover machine. He's a shell of himself. And I'd be even surprised, even if they started a rookie quarterback, they're not winning this game. They're not winning this game. The team is not clicking. I know I just crapped on Chicago, but man, even though Chicago has 2 less wins than the Falcons do, I would rather be cheering for the Bears than the Falcons because they're just a dumpster fire at this point in the season. They're not making the playoffs. They should have made it. They should have won that division. And I know they're only a game behind, but man, you want to talk about a season that has just gone. It had optimism, and then boom, man, like a plane crash. Like this, they're dead. They're dead. So I say Vegas. Doesn't matter if they have a running back as their quarterback. They're winning this game. I'll give them the edge, say 19-6. I don't even think Atlanta gets a touchdown in this game.
See, while I somewhat agree with you, I hate the Raiders this year. I really do. I just don't like them. They're just there.
Yeah.
Right? They're a filler team. Like, you know when you win and you're like, oh, it's 2:30. Let's see what games are on for the late window.
Yeah.
And you turn on your TV and you see something sick, like Raiders Cardinals. Are you sick of that? All right, I swear to play at 2:00 every week. And look, I understand you got to play teams at different times, but it's more than normal. And I don't like watching them as one of the main games because they're so boring. Except for Brock Bowers. I love Brock Bowers. God, that guy's exciting. I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. I think somehow probably Bijan has a huge game because the talent's there. It's just Kirk who plays like garbage.
Yep.
So I think somehow they get the job done. I'm going to go 19-16.
19-16. So a close game.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we have some games we did agree on. We have other ones that we obviously disagree on, and I hope that for some of the games I'm wrong about, because I would love to see the other teams win. But I mean, like I said, I've complained and ranted on the Jets and every other team so much. I'm like, the Falcons, you're up. Your turn is now. I'm telling you right now, that the only way they're salvaging their season and possibly competing in that NFC South is if they win in Vegas. But that means they have to have no turnovers, and they got to have the Kirk Cousins from 2 years ago. Like, there's so many factors for this team that they have to play well. And honestly, if I was a coach, I'd bench Kirk for the rest of the season. What have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be the first time that a rookie got a starting job over a veteran. So I say let history repeat itself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate this, man. I know this was a shorter video than usual, but I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And as long as everything goes smoothly, we'll certainly try to do this again next week.
Yes. I'm sorry I had to rush it a little bit this week. My apologies.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I just appreciate you taking the time to do this. So, again, thank you again from the bottom of my heart for doing this. I really appreciate this, and we'll talk soon.
Yes. Next Wednesday, buddy. I'll be here.
Of course. Sounds good.
All righty. See ya.